everybody. So I know that this is an odd time to go live. I'll just wait a few seconds to see if anybody comes on. Like I said, I know this is a very odd time for me to do this live, but I really did not want to wait to just come on here and talk about this really quick. But it seems like, well, first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Tamara Tamu. This is the Unleashed Alchemy YouTube channel. We're on this channel, we talk about how to go against the grain, how to stand firm in your I am power. When you have chosen to make spirituality the backbone of everything that you do, things shift. Things shift. They shift internally, and then things in your external start to shift as well. And so we talk about how to reclaim your sovereignty, how to get reacquainted and remember who you are as an energetic being, and remember who you are as a cosmic being, able to bring forth the unseen into the scene, using your spiritual gifts, getting into your spiritual bag, remembering your spiritual science, and using that to be sovereign in your everyday life. Okay, that is what we talk about on this channel. If you're new here, in a nutshell, welcome. To those of you that have been here, I thank you immensely for sharing this content, sharing this platform. You know, I will be here as long as I am guided to be here. Okay, so what I want to talk about on this live, and the reason why I'm doing a live is because I wasn't really sure how to even approach this topic. It's a topic that I've talked about before, but I thought that we were moving away from fear, from being afraid that we were moving away from allowing fear to keep us from tapping into our magic. Okay, so I have seen so many comments about that start off by saying, you know, I want to welcome in more spirituality into my life. I want to be more spiritual. I want to explore spirituality on in an elevated way, in a way that I'm not used to. But, and then on the other side of that but is fear. And so this is not a judgment, because I have been there. I have been, especially growing up in a programmed religious environment, very dogmatic. A cult is really what it was, what it is, what it continues to be. And so when I moved away from all of that, physically I moved away from it, but mentally I was allowing fear to keep me from exploring spirituality in the way that my heart and my soul was pulling me toward. And so it wasn't until I started to allow myself to ask the question, okay, what is it? Why am I allowing fear to control me? Because here's the thing, fear is not a problem. Fear isn't. Fear is never an issue. Fear itself is not a problem. Fear is an energy that we are capable enough and powerful enough to flip and alchemize and use that energy for our benefit. The issue comes in with fear is where we position it, where we allow the fear to hold position in our lives. So in this case, we're talking about, the topic is being afraid to explore spirituality on an elevated level. for those people that say, well, I want to explore spirituality on an elevated level, but fear, but I'm, and then they put afraid at the end of that. People that do that, again, I did that, so this is not a judgment here. I know what that's like. People that do that have put fear in the wrong position. You have put fear, we could say you've put it in the driver's seat. We could say that you have set fear aside of you and you have locked arms with it. So instead of you noticing the fear being there and you saying, okay, fear, I see you here, but we're going to continue to move, your locked arm, instead of you pulling, or not even pulling, but still walking along and moving, you're allowing fear to hold you back to where you cannot move, to where you feel stuck. Okay? So you have to ask the question. Number one, is the fear even mine? Number two, is this a projection of fear that I got from someone else, that I received from someone else? Number three, what is it that I'm afraid of? What do I think? So for example, if you feel a pull to explore moon magic, moon spells, or candle magic, or candle spells, if you are afraid, ask yourself, what is it? What am I afraid of? What do I think? What is my ego telling me is going to happen if I light a candle for healing? What is my ego telling me is going to happen if I dress this candle in oil and herbs for complete health and wellness? What is my ego telling me is going to happen on the other side of me lighting this candle? Versus perhaps what you were used to, perhaps growing up, or maybe throughout your entire adulthood, you were just programmed to, okay, well, let me just bend on my knees and pray to something out there to heal me or fix whatever I think needs to be fixed in my life. So now you're saying, well, perhaps that served me in the past, but now I'm being called to something else. Now I'm being called to experience spirituality in a more empowering way that says, well, wait a minute. I don't need to call on a force out there. The force is right here within me, within my DNA, within my cells, within the dark spaces in between my cells, within my molecules. I can tap into that. That is what my soul is calling me toward. That is what my heart is calling me toward. But this fear is in the way. So what do I think is going to happen? So it's very important to explore that. There's so many people. Oh, I have one person here. I've been talking. I don't even know how long you've been here, but whomever you are, thank you for joining. I know this was this very impromptu at an odd time of the day. Okay, so thank you for being here. If you have any questions, let me know. So I've been so shocked. For example, I was on a very, 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 very powerful seminar yesterday. Okay. And it was so shocking to me to see I think there was probably over 1,000 people on that seminar. And it was about spirituality amongst other things, and how it was a lot. Okay, but it was very powerful, very affirming and confirming. Okay, so, but it was so shocking to me to see how many people in the comments brought up fear. I want to know what my spiritual gifts are, but fear. I want to move in this direction, but fear. Okay. So, this is one of the things that we talk about. This is one of the reasons why I have the services that I provide through the Unleashed Alchemy Magic School and also my one on one spiritual advising that I do, because we have to get back into who we are. We have to go back to, and when I say go back, it's just uncover who we are. It's remembering who we are. We were put here to live this physical life, but live it in a way where we know that we have control. And I don't mean control in the sense of trying to control people or even trying to control what happens. But when I say control, I'm talking about if something happens in our external environment, which, by the way, just because we're spiritual people and we have recognized that, it doesn't equate to perfection, right? You know, things will still happen on the external. However, the way that we go about approaching that external circumstance, we know that we have power over that. We know that we are the God over that external environment, and the external environment has to conform to what we say, period. And it takes us having the courage, even if fear is there, having the courage to approach our lives every single day with that mindset. So for some of us, our spiritual science and operating in our spiritual science, so many of us are healers. So many of us are readers. We can read an environment. No one has to tell us anything. We are very intuitive. We can read other people without even it, just an automatic thing. Some of us, when we speak, things happen. Some of us are mediums. Some of us are seers. Some of us are psychics. And do you understand, when you allow fear to keep you from operating in that gift, it's keeping you from operating and living in a soul fulfilled life. Because your gift, first of all, yes, it is about you first. Then it's about the world. And you may be saying, well, I don't want to. That sounds too heavy. I don't want to save the world. And I also saw some of those comments as well. But what you have to know is that when you start to operate in your true being, the world around you, it's inevitable that it's going to positively influence those around you and the world around you. So, no, you as a healer, if that is one of your spiritual gifts, let's say that is one of your spiritual gifts, as a healer, no, you may not automatically say, I'm going to use this gift to heal the world. You may be saying, well, I'm going to use my gifts to heal those that I know that are closest to me that may be going through a physical ailment at the moment. So I'm going to use my gift as a healer to heal that person. You, at one person at a time with your gift, you are positively influencing the world one person at a time, beginning with yourself. So we have to be committed to putting fear in the proper position. We have to be committed to putting fear in the proper position. And it's not about, because remember what I said, well, if you were here at the beginning, I said fear is not the issue. Fear is not a problem. It's the position that we put fear in that becomes the challenge. So what I know, what I know is that for this time, there is this army of spiritualists that are coming to the forefront. Okay? And I don't believe in a devil running around trying to mess with people. But what I do believe in is that there are lower energies, there are distractions that could come up, one of them being fear, whether it's you could, so for example, let's say you wake up one day and you are charged, you are energized, you are ready for the day, okay? Whatever that's going to look like for you. And then you see something or you read something, and then all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, you find yourself fearful where that fear was not there at all. So that energy, those low level energies, they can be subtle in what we allow ourselves to read. Because whenever you read something, whenever you hear something, whenever you allow yourself to view anything, including this video, you have intertwined your energy in that. And so you have to be intuitive about what you listen to, what you read. Again, we're energetic beings. So you have to be mindful of that. So that low level energy that can be found in anything. So when this, with us being a part of this army that is now here for this time, because we see what's happening in the world, we see, perhaps you see things that are happening in your city, in your state, in your country that you live in, wherever you are watching this. Yes, we see what's going on. However, this is an opportunity for us to remember who we are as the salt of the earth, as goddesses, as gods. Okay, are ye not gods? This is what I believe, that the individual that's called Jesus in the Bible, which is Yahshua, okay, this is what I believe Yahshua was trying to show all of us. And that person, he was that, there was just not that one person that functioned and operated in their power like Yahshua did. But for whatever reason, there was a light shined on this one person. But there was more than one, okay? So I'm using Yahshua as an example because we're all familiar. I'm assuming those of you watching this. So this is what Yahshua was trying to show us. We have a direct connection with this force, with this power, with this creative power, with this genius power, where we can call forth love, where we can call forth wisdom, where we can call forth abundance, where we can call forth healing, where we can call forth right connection, where we can call forth community, where we can call forth loving order. We don't have to just look at and accept what's happening. We don't have to look at war and accept, oh, well, war is happening. No, we don't have to accept that. We don't have to look at and accept an illness. We do not have to accept that. We have power in our words, power in our voice, but it takes remembering, going back into ourselves and not allowing fear to be placed in a position where we're held, where we're not functioning in our spiritual gifts in the way that we were designed to. We don't have, when you are afraid of your own spiritual gifts, you're afraid of yourself. I think sometimes it's hard for people to, it's hard for people to realize that they have that type of power. As one person, this is okay. So, this is a scientific thing that I'm getting ready to say, but each one of us have enough electricity in our bodies to light up an entire city. That's scientific. Go research it out if you need more scientific proof. Okay. But if you just look at that, if you look at our makeup, we have an estimate of over 4 trillion cells in our bodies. We cannot wrap our heads around that. If you were to unwind our DNA strands, it would wrap around the earth at least 5 times. That's an estimate. And these are scientific estimates. Okay, go research it for yourself. So if you just look at that, how we just that will tell you how powerful we are. So now is not the time to be afraid of yourself. So I'm going to repeat the questions that if you are saying to yourself, well, I know that I've been put here for a powerful reason. I feel this pull toward working in my spirituality this way, but fear, whatever that fear looks like to you, I'm going to repeat the questions that you need to ask yourself. Where's the fear coming from? What are you afraid of? What do you think is going to happen if you say, okay, I surrender to my own spiritual science, I surrender to my own spiritual gifts? What do you think is going to happen if you say that? I invite you to do a writing exercise. Write whatever comes up, just write it out. Don't judge it, just observe it. Don't say, oh, well, I shouldn't feel this way or I shouldn't be afraid. No, write it out so you can see, okay, well, this is the source of that fear. So then you can know where to place fear. So then now you have, by observing the fear, you have alchemized and you've said, okay, now how can I use this energy of this fear? How can I use that now for my benefit? To stand in confidence in the gifts that I have, in the gifts that I came to function in. And your gifts are meant to be used. Your spiritual gifts are meant to be used in every single part of your life. It's not just so. For example, with the gift of healing, which I keep using that example. Get out of your mind what a healer does or what a healer looks like. You could heal with your words. If you're a singer, you can heal with your songs. If you actually, if you have healing where you're going to put your hands on people, yes, there's that. And you can start in that today with yourself. So a lot of times that fear comes because people are afraid to be seen. People, and this is not, when you decide, okay, I'm going to let my spiritual gifts be expressed. No, you're not walking around with a sign or a t-shirt saying, hey, I'm a healer, I'm a teacher, I'm a spiritual advisor, I am a medium, I am a necromancer, I am a psychic. No, you're not walking around with a t-shirt on with those labels. But now you're confident and you're telling the great creator within you, now I am available to be a vessel, to use my gifts wisely, spiritually, lovingly, wherever I'm needed. So a lot of times we let fear control that because we think that means, okay, now everyone's going to know who I am. Well, that could be the case. That could very well be the case. Now you're seen. Now you are at the forefront. Yes, that could happen. Now you are on stages sending out words of healing. Yes, that could happen. But just know that wherever your gifts take you, you are already equipped. You are already initiated for that. Whatever comes with you allowing your gifts to be expressed and you not allowing fear to dilute or cover them up, that whatever goes along with your gifts being at the forefront of your life, whatever goes along with that, you are already prepped. You have already been initiated. Your initiation happened when you were birthed through the divine feminine, through your divine mother, through the divine womb. You were already, and that was your initiation. Okay? So I just wanted to come on here and talk about that because we're allowing fear to take the wrong position when it comes to our spiritual gifts. And I talk about this more. This is part of what I do with the services that I provide through my Unleashed Alchemy Magic School. There are workshops in there that help you not push fear out of the way, but to process it, to observe it, to elevate it, to alchemize it, so that you can uncover your spiritual gifts and function in them optimally. I also work with people in that way through my one-on-one services as well. So if you are wanting more support in your spiritual odyssey, look at the Unleashed Alchemy Magic School. It is a monthly membership. And then you can also look at, if you're wanting more one-on-one services, look at my consulting package that I offer. Okay? So I will put the links for both of those services that I provide to give you support in your spiritual odyssey. Check those out. Okay? And so I'm going to go ahead and end this live. Thank you for being here. Baseball player number 5. Go back and watch it. I don't know how long you've been here, but hey, good morning. Okay, I'm going to end this and thank you so much for being here. And so until next time, cheers.